Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Loops and Lore with Meg. Today I'm doing the Booktube Newbie Tag so that way you can get to know me and my channel and what to look forward to, hopefully. So let's dive in. So question number one is, why did you start this channel? And for me, I had a channel back in 2017 through 2019, I believe was the years that I ran it. And I ended up stopping it because personally, my mental health, my task load and everything, I got too overwhelmed. I had my first daughter at the time, and just that transition of going from baby stage to toddler was rough. I don't think enough people talk about that, because you go from, okay, you have a little bit of free time because they're going to take a nap, they're going to do these kind of things. You can put them somewhere, they're gonna stay, they're babies, to suddenly they're in everything, they're starting to fight naps, they're starting to want you more and more, and you lose more free time. So everything just got too overwhelming, and I ended up deciding to stop my channel at the time. It was such a relief, but I have missed it since then. And I don't think I ever told you what my original channel name was. It was Tome Infinity. I ran the Tome Infinity Beyond Readathon. I did the Pokemon Readathon. So there was a couple of things I really loved doing that I hope to be able to bring back into this at some point. Question number two is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? For me, it's my love of fantasy and sci-fi, which I don't think is very unique. I think that's pretty prominent on Booktube. But recently, in the past couple of years, I've gotten into crocheting, so I really want to bring my art and craft side into this. I'm a graphic designer. I love doing art. I love doing home reno type stuff. I just recently built a house and designed my library, so I like to share that with you as well. And my crafts and crochet and that kind of thing, and working that into my Booktube content is my ideal goal for this. Question number three is, what are you most excited about with this channel? And I am most excited to get back into the Booktube community. It is somewhere that I found so much love for back when I had my other channel. I have some best friends that I still keep up with and follow that I've gained from this. So just getting back into that community is without a doubt the best thing. Question number four is, why do you love reading? And I don't know if this is hard for everyone else, but this is a really hard question for me because I don't remember a time when I didn't love reading. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I just got into this book and, just recently had this joy of reading that's come about, which I think is so great for everyone and has brought a huge focus in on the book community in general. But for me, I've been reading since I was a kid. I remember staying up at like 2, 3 in the morning in 5th grade because I just couldn't put my book down, and the rule was if you go to bed you can read, and so I pushed that rule to the extreme when I was little, to the point where I then had a reading timeout time. So yeah, it's just always been something I've really loved and has brought joy to me. 5 goes along with that and is, what book or series got you into reading? I remember in elementary school loving the Pine Hollow and Saddle Club books. That was a huge deal. I was a big horse girl without ever having any experience being around horses. I thought they were the greatest thing in the world. But also, you look at A Series of Unfortunate Events. I remember reading those in like late middle school age. I think was around when those came out. I think some of them was coming out when I was in high school too, like the later part of the series, and I've read all those. Harry Potter, of course, was a big one. It's just all these books that came out in the 90s and 2000s were my jam growing up. So question number 6 is, what question would you ask your favorite booktubers? I think the big one for me is the booktubers that have a family and have a full-time job and all this. How do you find balance? Because that was a big part of what ended up bringing down my original channel, is I didn't have balance between my home life, my work life, and my booktube life. And it felt like booktube, was third seat, which obviously it's still going to be because my family and my job. will always come first, but I feel like I'm in the place where I have a little bit more balance in my life now, and so just that, how do you prep for this would be great. And I think the secondary question for me would be, how do you go about planning things without over planning things? Because I get into the weeds, I get into the details, and I tend to make things more complicated. If you are a part of Tome Infinity and Beyond from a few years ago, you know round 1, great. Round 2, I was like, okay, this is getting a little complicated. Round 3, I think people found it too overwhelming and was like, what are you thinking, Megan? And I'm like, I know. I went too far. I flew too close to the sun. And so I think that is a tendency for me. So that knowing when to stop, when to say it is good, it is finished, it is enough, is a big deal for me. Question number 7 is, what challenges do you think you're gonna run into with this channel? And for me, it is consistency, it is not over planning, and it is just not being too hard on myself and not nitpicking every little thing about each video and thinking that I have to refilm something because there was something in the background that I didn't think about. You know, it's those little things that really put pressure on myself. And so I'm trying to go in this low-key, like, I am enough. And that is my slogan for this whole thing. So hopefully you find that too, and we can have just, like, you know, a casual, cozy booktube channel. That is my goal. Question number 8 kind of feels a little bit repetitive, and it was, when did you start reading? And like I said, I don't remember not reading. I don't remember learning to read, which is fun when you have a first grader and you're trying to help her learn to read, because they have all these rules and you're trying to remember, and you're like, I didn't know that rule. Like, how do I know how to read if I don't know all these rules for reading? So it's been a fun experience to go through and learn reading again and that kind of thing, but I've always been reading. Number 9 is, where do you read? And the question is kind of anywhere. And then by question, I mean answer. Apparently I've been accepting words a lot, so that will be fun for you and me to learn together what I'm actually saying. But I listen to audiobooks a lot, and that way I can do audiobooks while I'm driving, while I'm taking a shower. I have a Google Home in my bathroom so I can listen to it very loud, which is annoying for anybody else in the house, but I gotta be able to hear it through the water, you know what I mean? And I also listen while I drive, while I cook, pretty much anything that I'm multitasking. I hear you, kitty cat. What? I'm busy. Anyways, pretty much anything that I can multitask with, I will do my audiobook. It is great as a graphic designer because I can work on a lot of things that don't take up that part of my brain, so I can listen to audiobooks while I work. I also have a Kindle that I read at night, at bed. I find that that is great because the light and stuff helps me be able to see what I'm reading, but it's also like the paperwhite, so it's not keeping me awake either. And then I have my really cozy library, which I'll insert a picture here for you, and that is my reading chair that I will go through and read, sometimes nap, you know, it's, they go hand in hand. And question number 10 and 11, I'm kind of going to combine because I think they go together. And it is, what kind of books do you like to read, and what does your collection of books look like? So as you can see behind me, I have a ton of books. Probably too many books, if I'm being honest. But you know, that is what it is. I have around 486 that I've cataloged, and I'm working on a Notion like database for myself, which I'm very excited about, but it is a slow process to get all of these added in. So of those, I think I have about 292 that I've read, which is about 60%. So I have 40% of these books that I haven't read yet, and I need to. 38% of them are fantasy and 21% are sci-fi. So those are definitely my go-to genres. All over here is sci-fi, and pretty much all over here is fantasy. I have a book of the month shelf because I do get those when I see one that comes up that's interesting. I skip it most of the time. I have my VE shelf behind me because I love V.E. Schwab. She's probably one of my favorite authors, if not my favorite. And then, of course, Game of Thrones, my dragon fantasy. I got the Sarah J. Maas shelf. Like, there's a bunch of different stuff in here all mixed in. So I read a mix of things. I do have like a literary shelf down here too that you can't see. So it's just a wide assortment of stuff, but my bread and butter is definitely sci-fi and fantasy. So that is it for the Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope you enjoyed getting a little sneak peek insight into myself and the channel, and look forward to seeing what comes. I will be doing a November TBR video, and I have a TBR game that I've made for that to get me to read the TBR books off my shelf. So that'll be fun. That should be coming out very soon. And if you like this, please like and subscribe. And if you want to, comment down below what either your favorite book is, or if you have any other questions for me, and I will answer them down below. That's it. Happy reading. Stay cozy, stay crafty. Bye.